wish people who didn't understand geopolitics would stay out of geopolitics. You have a deep misunderstanding of how NATO benefits the United States, so I'm going to break it down to you. Let's talk first about the budget, though, before we get into anything. The budget of NATO, the United States, provides a little less than 16% of that budget. And you may think, well, that's a lot that we provide. And it is a lot until you take into account two things. We are the largest country in NATO population-wise. So we have more people that would be impacted if mutual aid is needed. And by the way, we're the only country who's ever had to call for mutual aid. Did that on 9/11. So we've got that. We only do 16%. And statistically speaking, I guess we should carry the larger burden because we are, in fact, the largest country. Second, being in NATO allows us to have our military stationed around the world within the borders of sovereign countries. So our military reach is the largest reach of any military in the world, which feeds into allowing us to have the largest military in the world. The only reason we can do that is because we are stationed everywhere. So if we choose to no longer be in NATO or no longer to do any of the things for NATO that we do, I would expect those countries would very quickly say, hey, get your stupid military out of our countries. We want you gone, and we're going to have to pull all of those people back to within our borders. Guess what? We do not have the infrastructure to billet those people. And our Constitution requires that the United States government not force the military to be billeted in private homes. So we're going to have to retire a bunch of military assets. This includes the people that are in the military. So suddenly we're going to go from having the largest military in the world to somewhere down lower than that. We will no longer have the reach that we have militarily. So other countries really will not give a flying fart in a windstorm what we want and or need. So that's what's going to happen. We currently have NATO command, and we've had NATO command for like 75 or 80 years. I can't remember. 75 years. 80? No, 75 years. And while that doesn't mean a lot when we're not on a wartime footing, in the event that there was a wartime footing, guess who would be in charge of the military that was happening? It would be us. We've got a president who is in the office. Everybody knows. And when you sit quietly at night in the darkness of your room, in your heart of heart, you know this too. He is a Russian asset. So as soon as we're not in NATO anymore, and we pull all of our troops back, that's going to be exactly what Putin wants. So he will have gotten what he wanted. None of our allies are ever going to trust us again, and I can't blame them. I would not trust us ever again. We are unreliable and unhonorable. Then we're going to be, maybe, if we're lucky, a small regional power in our portion of the globe. The problem is Canada's still going to be part of NATO, which means they're probably going to be a bigger power than we are. So I am firmly convinced that when Putin comes over to visit Donald Trump in the Oval Office, he flings him over the Resolute desk and takes him vigorously from behind with no lube, just spit. And Donald Trump thanks him every time, because without him, he would have no power. Although currently he's not got any power outside of the United States because nobody cares what he says. And frankly, I don't care what he says, only so far as it impacts my life and my fear of fascism creeping into the United States. So I'm going to take my political science degree, and I'm going to watch that Mango Mussolini that's in our White House, who I'm absolutely positive gets on his knees for Putin every chance that he gets. And I think he's probably taken it from Elon too. So I need you guys who don't understand geopolitics to sit down and shut up and let people who understand what that means handle it.